Hey guys, good morning. So if you watched any of my recap yesterday, or my replay, I should probably call them, because I don't really recap. I just play it from the opening bell, but then I have a little intro video about what kind of happened at the end of the day. If you've been picking up on those, I hope you watch some of them. You can just skip right to the other areas that you want to go to. I just was thinking about something else here. Yeah, so I said, if you listen to me, you said I don't think I'm going to trade today, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, because I love to beat my head against a wall. Part of it is that I just love to trade, and I'm okay taking chances. But if you're listening to my advice, that is not something, that is not advice I want to give you. I love to trade. I'm bored, so I'm going to trade when I think I might lose money. That's not so deep down. I think I can control it. Like yesterday, where I went 330 in a hole, which again isn't the end of the world. And but it just I don't like to lose. Like nobody likes to lose. And eventually, any amount of money can definitely catch up to you if you have that kind of attitude, right? So you don't want to have a attitude that it's okay to lose and just let's have fun and lose, so plus it's no longer fun when you lose anyway. But I keep thinking I'm going to have a way to get around a terrible time to trade, that I turn things around so many times, changing sort of the parameters of, how it works for me on the fly, which is something that only works for me and what I'm prepared to do. So it's not something I want to teach. So you should never really trade the opening candle. And on it, when there's about to be a major announcement, you should never really trade. Now, I will say that with scalping, you should trade after the announcement. Yeah, and just be careful. There's all kinds of ways to trade that momentum after the announcement. So at some point, we'll go into a deep dive about that, just like there's all kinds of ways to trade IPOs. And it's not what people think. You don't just jump on the train and go, because they all act differently and they could flush. And the same with news. News could be good and it goes the other way. So what is your plan? And then the next day it shoots up, right? So you don't know 100%. So sometimes waiting for any big news to kind of shake out and then getting back to sort of a consolidation with the news built in is the better way to trade. Actually, most times, not sometimes. And certainly the way that I like to trade, where you have a range and a consolidation and you're not waiting for big spikes. But if you're lucky enough, you can catch that momentum and you could make lots and lots and lots of money. It's just that it can go the other way. So that being said, anyway, don't trade the opening candle. Don't trade when there's news, unless you're really trading a different way than what I'm trying to show here, which is a conservative strategy. And some people would say adding to your position when you're already in is not conservative. But I disagree. If you're only entering 25% of your position and you're learning to read the data, the historical data, along with the price action flow, which you can either read with or without indicators, indicators being more useful is a whole separate argument. You don't need to have them. You can read price flow with the level 2. You can read it, where is it hitting the historical data, right? I truly believe that the indicators help, and you can ask anybody who trades in any prop firm and they will tell you that the indicators help, that they're having coded for them, and that's what's on this layout is a whole bunch of those indicators. But there are traders that trade amazingly well without using anything but just the volume and the level 2, just regular volume, not even a pro meter. So and they learn that way. And then they're the ones that start to say, you don't need indicator, So everybody trades differently, right? That's what it comes down to. I am indicator driven and historical data driven, as you guys know, if you've watched me at all. And it works. It works for me. It works for me, right? So this type of trading may not work for you. So you've got to develop, you just take this information and add it. Whatever you're watching here, add it to you, how you're going to finally formulate your own plan, right? As a teacher, that's what I tell the students too. It's just like, look, I can give you all the data in the world. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to do exactly what I do or exactly what somebody else does in this textbook, because you're going to bring something different to it. So all you're really getting is the knowledge, and then you morph it into how you use that knowledge. Knowledge is always good, because then you just have that depth that you can draw on when you need it, but you want to formulate your own trading plan. And what I've been saying with scalping is if you can learn to get in and out quickly, controlling your losses, then however you take it to swing trading, long-term trading, your options, I know there's I'm not going to name 20 different ways to trade, but you can take it to any way that you trade, and just so the more you learn, the better. So, but it may not be for you, but you might want to watch it and just pick up like, hey, look what this dude's doing. It's working for him, but man, it doesn't work for me. Like when you watch those momentum traders and they're like, they'll make, $30,000 in a couple of minutes, or, $100,000 a day, you're like, wow. And all he had to do is go in when this candle turned green after this candle. It's just like, well, not really. It can work, and then when you get into trading 10,000 and 20,000 shares, you can blow your entire IRA account in a matter of minutes, just thinking, well, it's going to come back. It worked for that guy or that girl, whatever. It worked for them, and then suddenly all your money's gone and you're going, why? You're not at that level. You're not doing the hotkeys. You're not going in and out a split second. You're not watching the price flow the same way. You're not that adept in reading every single pattern. You don't have, 10-second charts up along with your 1-minute charts. These are things they don't tell you a lot unless you buy their $3,000 or $4,000 course. And even then, it's a certain kind of personality and being so quick, and so that kind of trading that's not for like 90+% of the people. It can seem so simple, right? It can seem so simple. The main thing to learn is to cut your losses. That's if you make a day trading plan and you follow it, then in the end, you're going to be successful. You're going to be one of the 5% that makes it. But if you keep FOMOing to the next strategy and you don't create your own strategy and you don't stick to a day trading plan, you will not make it. And I am taking words verbatim out of books from long-term professional traders. This isn't just me talking. I'm sure you've heard this stuff before. I'm not talking like I'm the be-all and all. I'm just parroting good advice. Stick to a day trading plan. Stick to your max loss. Don't jump all around. Find one strategy that you've developed that works and trade it. Now, scalping isn't really a strategy. I call it a strategy. It's a type of trading. That's what it is. And then I make a day trading plan that you could call this a strategy. My plan, you could call this a strategy, but it's not really. The only thing would be where I enter 25%. I only enter a fraction of my position. That's conservative, my friends. That's a conservative way to trade. 90% of my trades, that's all I do, in and out at that, right? And then people would call it not conservative to add to my position, right? Oh, yeah, you should never do that. You've heard that many, many times. It's in different books and stuff. Well, they shouldn't then. Absolutely. It is totally cook them. So the people who lose money doing that should never do that. Absolutely. That's a no-brainer, right? But if it works for you, then why wouldn't you do it, right? And the only way it's going to really work for you is if you pay attention to that, right? So I'm in a little different position if you watch me, and I get a lot of email. In the last week, I had probably 12 very passive-aggressive emails, and I try not to let them get to me. It's like they're saying something nice, but they're not really. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, God, come on, guys. I can see what you're saying. And what it really means is they're struggling. I understand they're struggling, but you can't put that on me, man. I can show you what I do. and it for the most part works for me. And how I bail out if I've made a bad decision. Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to hold it into a swing, and and in the end I might still lose. I don't know. So I'm not trying to pretend that I don't ever lose money, that trades don't go against me. But boy, do I work hard to stay green. I really do work hard, and I'll come back till I'm just exhausted from scalping to get back to green. And it doesn't become too fun anymore at that point. But yeah, finding your own strategy, and like I always say, I only would go add in when the price is going against. Somebody sent me a great email this morning, yesterday or whatever, but I answered it this morning. And he pointed out how I went into a position when none of the data, I added to my position when none of the data was saying that I should add to that position. And he was absolutely spot on. I actually went back to the video and I remembered as soon as I saw it, like, oh God, somebody noticed. Somebody noticed. And that proved what a good trader he was, that I actually just pushed the wrong button. I was going short and I pushed sell to get out. And I kind of looked away from the screen. I was like, made a sigh, like, oh God, another losing trade, right? And then I looked up and I saw that I doubled my position, and I was like, wait a minute, the price flow is going my way now, so I'm going to hold this. And I made a good trade. I look like a genius. Apparently, he saw that I wasn't a genius, which proves what a good trader he is. But, you can make a mistake and it can still work for you, but I thought it was kind of funny. I laugh at my mistakes. You got to laugh at your mistakes, right? You got to laugh. I always say some of my best trades are trades that I didn't mean to make. But yeah, but I was intending to get out. Had I waited a second longer, I would have added, to the position. So it worked out for me. It just, sometimes things just work out for you. Is it, good things happen to good people? I don't know. Make sure you read that, guys. Not a licensed financial advisor. So let's get into my so-called strategy today. Well, actually, let's talk about the news real quick. So Charlie is eliciting the help of ChatGPT and putting things in synopsis for me here. So we're going to read the SPY's neutral, the QQQ slightly bearish, NVIDIA slightly bearish, AMD slightly bearish, Apple is neutral, Tesla is neutral, although I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Amazon neutral, Palantir's a bounce. This is like kind of the news from yesterday too. Am I getting news from yesterday? Is that today? Seems like the same stories. No, that's today. Okay. Then Hood neutral. So, if you've been noticing on Tesla, it basically says on Tesla, trade the range, right? And I've been noticing this range and always looking at it when I go to scalp it. Now, this is only on a 10-day, but is this a 10-day or did I make this longer? No, I think I just made it a 10-day. But its range is, if you go back 30 days, I marked out its basic range here, just so for today. I know whenever it got near $300, I would scalp it a long bias. And whenever it was up into the high 330s or 340s, I would scalp it short bias. That doesn't mean I don't think it's going to go up. I'm just telling you my bias, like, hey, it's near its recent highs. It's probably going to retrace, right? Just logic, right? So with that in mind, right now it's closer to the bottom than the top, and I do think that there's been some in the overall market. I think there's already been built in some correction for basically bad news coming from Powell today. So if he says anything about a rate cut that could happen in September, I believe the market's going to have a huge bounce. Now, you know how sometimes he says good stuff and it goes the other way, and then you the next day or later that afternoon, it suddenly takes off. So, you got to account for that and not just start to chase stuff. You got to be careful. As we've all learned that have been watching this data, it's just like CNBC says something about it. You hear it first there, or you hear it on your news feed. Some amazing news. I think you saw it happen to me yesterday. it was great news, and then the stock didn't go up, and I thought it was going to go up. But sometimes you have to wait 15 minutes, 2 hours, or even a day, and then everybody gets on board with, hey, there's more and more retail traders now, so I think it is happening a little faster than it used to, but it still can be a delay. So there could be great news today, and you may want to jump on everything, and you might do really, really well. You might be a winner. Or it might have a short spike and then drop down. But anyway, I'm going to get back to my plan today. So you've been seeing me set the positions on the ladder. So this is that rectangle that's showing. It's kind of a dark blue color. That's why it doesn't look black right here. So I think Tesla's going to go up at the market, and we've been watching it go up $2, $3, $4 in like the first 60 seconds. But yesterday I said, I think it was Apple maybe, I set it up at the first resistance, but it got way too close to it, so it picked me up and then went down. So I would tend to want to set this higher and go into the ladder higher, but I want to see where we're at when we get right before market opens. And then I am going to set like 50 shares, not a lot. I'm not going to take a huge chance with the way we're trading this account. Oh yeah, I can't move this over because you can't pan on the actual rectangle. You have to go, like that. You have to get below it. There you can see how it fades out right there. So yeah, I'm going to wait to see, and then I'm going to go in. And I am going to trade this at the open because everything is flat, but Tesla is the most volatile for the large caps, so that's my strategy there. But let's go ahead and mark out some of these others for consolidation trading. And again, I may just stop, guys. I may just completely stop and not trade today, and then come back after the news and get a look at it. Yeah, it's almost senseless to do the fibs, honestly. I don't know. I'm sure people are going to be doing them. And I marked them out because it's where the crowd would have levels, right? So I'll go ahead and do it as our time ticks down. We're 10 minutes away from trading live. If you just joined, I am the professor with Day Trading for Success, a former math teacher who now trades. I own businesses, but I primarily trade now, and I fill my days with trading because that's what I enjoy doing. And you'll see me live stream here for the most part every morning with a particular range-bound strategy. And what we do is we set our Fibonacci levels to see where people might trade, might use for historical data. Fibonacci levels is basically the oldest historical data that there is, so you can see how we look for channels based off those levels. Wow, look at that. If it wasn't a news day about to happen, I would say this would be a great RV stock right here. You look at that. RV is not picked yet. I mean, they probably, it's not a great day for RV. It's not a great day for any type of strategy trading other than to the catalyst, the news catalyst. That's what you'd want to watch. And close enough. So we may get, if it doesn't, if it's already built in the news, like there's no news, like he's going to say he's not going to cut, they may have already built that in. If he says he is going to cut, I think this is going to shoot up here, and then you can't really rely on a lot of this stuff. That's the problem, is that anything we marked here is really, on a day like this, it's like, geez. That's why I say don't trade, because there's nothing to go by except just to ride it whatever way it goes, which is extremely risky. If everybody thought the same way, it would be easier, but I say it a lot that it's funny because it's the opposite of what I do. If you trade with the crowd, Tom Hogarth says, if you want to lose money, do what everybody else does, because 90% of the people lose money. It's just like, yeah. And I always say trade with the crowd, but I'm talking about short-term scalping, not long-term swing trading and things like that. I'm talking or even day trading. I'm talking very short-term trade with the crowd. What are they looking at right now? Which way is the stock going to go right now based on what they see, right? So this should come down to here. But again, I'm just not going to do it. It just makes no difference. This historical data wouldn't change if we get to that level when it shoots up. If it shoots up, then some of this historical data could be the end of it, like the fib could be where it's going to stop, because now it's back to where it was, and into the low 230s is where Apple was and where it used to live before this. But then generally it should, if it's good news, people are going to believe that the market's going to continue to go up, and they're going to start, everything's going to start to climb. I still do have a swing with AMD, which is absolutely killing me. So I'm hoping that turns around. That has now become, it's still just been like a week or whatever, but I'm about to make it a long-term trade, because I will hold AMD into like a 20K loss, and then wait for a rebound. I won't cut it. I'm able to do that because I believe it is going to go up at some point. So I can just trade other accounts. What I would do is I would move it from this account into another account so that I could scalp AMD over here, because it is a good one to scalp. And that one I held into the move, and then we had a big dump suddenly, and that's what can happen. That's why you want to just do your max loss and not trade just the way, because I trade that way, So remember that, guys. It's just, I'm not going to show you exactly what I think you should do. I can talk to you what I think you should do, and then I'm going to trade the way I trade. And that's why you can't hold me responsible for this stuff. You can't come to me with these emails and make it seem like, I'm the reason you're failing or whatever, because I'm just putting out information. You can take it as you will. I can't help it, it can't help but affect me. So if you want to affect me, you've accomplished the goal, because I want everybody to do well. I really do. I think some people don't realize even what they're saying because they're just in pain. And I do know that a lot of people look at teachers like, well, if you were a teacher, aren't you teaching us now? And, it's like, well, not really. I'm not selling you a course. I'm just showing you stuff. And yeah, I don't want the responsibility. I can't, it's just too much, to be responsible for your livelihood. I have enough people that I am responsible for. So at least I feel I am. Everybody's responsible for themselves. But yes, I do take on, I think like we all do, we'll take on people that we're close to, and we'll try to help them any way we can. But let me get ready for this. Oh, no. So, if you see this, that you're in the right spot. So I wanted to show you that zone. But honestly, to keep this here is going to be a problem for me. So I really want to get rid of this rectangle completely. So rectangle 1. So just trying to figure out how to get rid of. Oh, I know what I have to do. I go on this. No, I go on this. No. Nope. Well, right now we're so close to the market open that I don't want to mess with anything. I'm going to try to set this. Let's see what this does in the next candle here. Don't need my 15-minute right now. Let's pull this down so I've got some ladder to work with. And we'll keep it at one. No, we'll go 50 shares for this move. This is a risky move. So maybe we can make 100, 150, 200 if it does what we want. So right now, that would be too close. I would think about buying more at this level, 2271. It's not making a move, so I guess I'm going to get ready. I can just always cancel it out. So right around 2270, I'll make a 2275-ish buy right there. Let's just make sure we are on day, auto send, yes. And then I'm ready to get out quickly for a profit. So let's see what happens. "45 seconds. Okay. Suddenly had this fear that I forgot to turn on the sound. It is on. We are 25. Good luck, everybody, today. You can see it's already gone up overall in the 5-minute here since we've been watching. But let's see if it makes a big, and then I'll sell out ask really, really quickly if it just gets up to a decent trade, assuming it's going to retrace. I can get back in it again, but I want to profit some of it. I'll probably just take a trade and wait if I get a profit. So we have a market going. It has not picked me up yet. Look, it snapped right there at the high, right before my position, huh? So I'm glad about that. So, because it went right back down. Yeah, that was quite a bit up. I marked it quite a bit up there. And it didn't go, so it's making me want to get out of this position. Yeah, I'm just going to get out. All right, so it didn't work. It didn't do that quick. I mean, it did a climb, but I guess I was too greedy. I mean, I wanted to get higher than that. So now that was the move I was going for. If you understood it, I was going for something that was going to be, a real fast pickup. Doesn't say I have the rectangle here. Why is it not? I don't usually do this, so I'm opening up my 4-hour here for a second. There it goes. Okay, now I can use my... Now, do I want to trade this stock right now? No, I don't. So we're not going to trade this stock. What happened with NVIDIA when we did this? I might come back to Tesla. It was just an idea to try to catch a big move in the beginning there. Wow. So everybody still wants to go down today. Shows Apple and Tesla are two that are green from the close of yesterday, but not the open of today. Just looking at the... so remember, if you don't have your scanner... Now, I'm working on another scanner that I hope will be really, really helpful. But this one is showing you the volume. You can see not as many people are trading here, right? This is not even getting as many stocks as we normally do. Wow. Yeah, that's just because people aren't trading. Anyway, this shows 100,000 volume in a 1-minute candle. And then that's the average over 10 day. That's today. And then also it's coded in here to show you how far you are from the high. This is just showing you the lack of interest in trading because normally we have a couple more stocks. I don't know which ones are missing, but people are just like, retail traders particular, just like, no. There are some people that are probably buying the dip right now for swing trades, But I would be careful if you're trading at this very moment. I would wait for a consolidation pattern of some sort, and then I would be skeptical. I would be worried still, and that's just because everybody's waiting for this news. It's just nothing to mark. Yeah, I gotta wait it out, guys. So I'll tell you a story from my early life. Growing up in the Bahamas, I used to dive blue holes. If you don't know what a blue hole is, some of you are like, seriously, dude, what are you telling us? Just mute if you don't want to hear. So a blue hole is, you'll see it in the ocean, off the coast of the islands. You'll see this round, dark blue hole that might go, a couple hundred yards, quarter of a mile across, pretty big. And a lot of them are off of Andros in the Bahamas, which is what they call the tongue of the oceans right there, where it suddenly goes down thousands and thousands of feet. I used to love to see all the photographs that this guy Greenberg used to take, and it would have the drop off. Right, you'd be on the banks outside the islands, and then it would just drop like somebody cut a knife. It would just go straight down, not just gradually down, but just like a knife, a cliff. Watch The Abyss. See what I mean there? It just boom, and it just goes straight down. I'm waiting, just so you know, I'm not going to jump in this. Anyway, and then blue holes up at the surface, so you see this crystal clear kind of, light blue where you can see the sand or the coral below, and then suddenly it's dark blue, and there's this big circle. They look like a hole, like this big circle that's totally dark blue. It can be all placid one moment, just totally flat. And then when the tide comes in, it boils up, like bubbling up, like unrealistic, like what's going on, like a backup on a drain with air bubbles or something, right? Just boom, 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 boom. And then when the tide goes out, it's like a kitchen drain. It just starts to go, it goes straight down. And so strong can it be that it can literally suck very large boats right down. If you had your boat over the top of that hole, it would just go straight down. And most of them, nobody knows the depth of how deep they are, because they'll have ledges that come out or whatever. So if you try to drop a line, it's really hard. At least this is when I used to dive. Now they probably have equipment that tells easily. And why does it do that? Why does it bubble up and then go down like a kitchen drain? Because somewhere, thousands of feet down from where the surface is, there's a lot bigger hole or more holes, a series of holes, so that you can't keep up with the volume, right? So it just like a drain effect, right? So now would you think that diving in those is a smart thing to do? No. You wouldn't, but I did it along with other thrill seekers. And you would do it is you would. I bought my own boat when I was a teenager, and I would lay the anchors out, and I would wrap the chain around coral heads, out away from the blue hole, and then feed the line out so that the boat was closer, the transom was closer to the hole. And then I always had the engines in gear, and there was always somebody on the boat. And then I would put the big lines down that would go, the lines that we dropped took up the whole cockpit of the boat because they were so big around and they would go down so deep. We would drop those first. The weight on the bottom of the line would just go straight down. And then you dive, right? And then you have that lifeline to grab onto if you somehow judged the tide wrong. The idea is that you have 20 minutes or more. Look at this go. If some of you who caught that, it seems like everything's starting to go up. But because of the conditions of that hole, the fish and because I was a spear fisherman, and I set a world record spearfishing when I was a young man. And everything was so dynamic and so amazing and so incredible that you couldn't get that without doing really deep sea dives. You wouldn't get the kind of fish that you normally, the kind of fish would be, 500, 1,000 feet down. And suddenly they're right there, 20 feet down, 30 feet down, 50 feet down, kind of inside caves and, that are in the rocks. And so it's so exciting. They used to call them Jewfish, but they're like massive grouper type fish that are their mouths are so big they could swallow you whole. That's how big they are. Big as a Volkswagen. Look it up. Don't trust me. Look it up. And you get a headshot on one of those. Can't really carry it to your boat, but I mean, anyway, anything you get. Back then, I was a hunter. I anything that you could eat, I would go after and kill, and so it was very exciting. And I'm not into that that kind of thing quite as much anymore. Go to the grocery store, but yeah, that was very, very exciting life for me to do, and whatever I could, whether it be swimming with sharks on a regular basis because it was exciting, pushing them off you and using my Hawaiian sling, and believe me, I have so many stories, so many years of diving, getting in the water when the sun came up, just it's what I do, and then until you get out and when the sun goes down, you're like a giant prune because you've been in the water all day. But, with doing that day after day after day, year after year after year, you have so many adventures with sharks and barracudas and moray eels, and where you have to cut their heads off because they won't let go of you. Moray eels will not let go of you. Always had a knife on your leg. I will stop there because I will stop trading completely if I don't stop my stories. But yeah, there it was. I filled them some space, and now we're up to the 10 minute here. So let's see if we can get some consolidating levels on this stock that I might feel comfortable trading. I kind of been doing much better after 10:30 these days, scalping, but it does seem it stopped at this fib. That's 3 times. It's making a flat top here. So we're at the 173.50 roughly. Let's see if it's going to break it. Yes, it is. I really would like to see it, come down and retest again. So it tested at the 73 even here. So that was a fantastic channel if it would have held it for a little longer. You could trade that long biased, of course. Seems like everything's going very long biased. Yeah, Tesla's going up now. So it did do that move. It just didn't do it on the first candle. So if we can get a retracement here, are people already, there must be news coming out from interviews and stuff that people are thinking that we're going to get good news because it's already starting to. Nothing like amazingly. Geez, this just keeps going, guys. So I think I'm probably going to get into this move. As it breaks the 174, let me try to get a dip. If 174 doesn't turn it around, then I'm going to jump in this move. I don't like to chase it, but it's going pretty slow here, too. So it's not, so it's not a lot of danger here. So I'm going to wait for a dip. I got it there. So let's see if it keeps going up or if I have to bail out of this. So I got it exactly at 174. I'm going to hold it a little bit to see if it just keeps climbing. Probably going to get a pullback at that fib level, so I'll get out for a profit there if it gets me out. Nope. It's already starting to pull back, so that would have been nice if it picked me up there. Here it comes. Boom. All right, so now let's see if we can get a little bit of a pullback and then continue to ride it up, bank it as we go. Stopped at the fib. There we go. Try to get in there at the 15 cent. Didn't pick me up. So is it going to have to be a market day? Here we come. Wait for the next push up there, maybe to the $0.50. Try to ride it to the 50 cent and see if we can get up that high. That would be the next resistance that I would worry about, although it's stopping prior to that. It stopped right back where it did on that fib again. So I wonder if the fib's going to turn it around. I'm not going to write it down. If it does, I'm just going to get out for a small loss. Let's see. Yeah, I should have taken that trade for the double-digit number there. We need it to break the fib here, so the fib is the resistance. I'm just going to get out for it. Oh, wow, it really hit 1250 right as I... That's too bad. So I thought that was like a $6 loss. Instead, it was like a $15 loss. So 174 by the bid, maybe. Let's see if it holds it. It's turning around. I'm going to get back in. So I got it at 08. I don't think it's done. So we're going to try to get back what we lost and then go on into the sky here. But this could be it. Oh, wow. It's definitely going down again now. That's too bad. We had a nice makings of a nice move there, but it's decided to turn around. In its brain, it decided. Sometimes I listen to my words and I'm like, I often will antiquate to the candlesticks being alive. I want to do a candlestick comic strip. I used to own video stores, and we would put out newsletters with a chain, and we did a comic strip where the videos that were on the shelves were talking to each other. Back and forth, you know, like the Godfather talking to Mary Poppins or whatever, you know. It was pretty funny, you know. And I thought that same type of thing would be funny if it was candlestick patterns talking, you know, bulls and bears and, you know, flat tops, and they each had a personality. And I think it'd be a pretty funny comic strip. Only traders would get it, of course. Nobody else would get it. So it has broken that fib now. But even back then, you know, people would get the comic strips. You know, everybody has something to say, right? Most people just loved it, and they loved the humor. And other people would say things like, you know, you're denigrating the film. I'm just like, dude, stop taking life so seriously. Calm down. What the hell? The Godfather would never talk like that. Mary Poppins wouldn't hang around I'm just giving examples. That wasn't what happened. But just like that kind of stuff. Like you can't, oh man, I missed that. I thought it was going to dip back down to the fib. You just can't please everybody though, right? Was my point. Whoa, huh? I'm going to buy that dip and hope it's not a complete. Was there news? Yeah, be careful here. I'm telling myself, be careful. Was there news? Is that going to keep flushing, or is that just a great entry off of that big rise? Getting ready to sell if we do another plunge because I don't want to. But it looks like it was just a short. Yeah, let's take that profit there if we can get it. There it is. So we're up to 50. This is just 100 shares, so it's pretty good. That was weird, huh? A bunch of people dumped. Must have hit a level. Over 50 cent, I guess, was the level. And there was a bunch of people. I didn't actually see it here, so it was something else that sent that down. That probably alternative routing that they just dumped in all at once. Algorithm, you know, trading. So let's see if it's going to make a channel here. Just keep blowing through this. Yeah, the video stores I had was pretty cool because I also had restaurants back in the 80s, and long before DoorDash was around, man, you could call up the video store and get your video delivered along with a restaurant of your choice. I got a bunch of restaurants to sign up besides my own, and they'd be delivered with the video. Or if you just wanted the food because it got big enough, and check this out, we were open 24 hours a day. That's when I just had too much energy. But it was a huge success. And then the comic strips made the newspapers and stuff, which were pretty funny because they got pretty political too. So I didn't care back then about being attacked. I had a lot of energy. So we got picketed. Oh my God, we got picketed. We put out this movie. I'm against censorship, obviously, and I'm not going to go into my religious or spiritual views. But any movie that I would release, any movie. I mean, I'm not going to release a movie about child murder or something. But I mean, any movie that was mainstream. And some people were against it. Then don't watch it. Don't watch it, right? So this movie way back when came out with Willem Dafoe. Wow, I did not see that coming. I'm going to get ready to short this. Wow. Is there news? There must be some news, huh, that I'm not picking up on. Let me just get a quick stuff on the chat over here in the Pro Lounge. A lot of option news coming out. Interesting. So the 75 stopped it, huh? 175. That kind of momentum. It's just a little scary about, a little risky to go short right there. Let's see if it keeps bouncing off that. I mean, it definitely channel hopped, so I need it to settle down before shorting it, and I need it to pull back before going long, before longing it. So let's see. See, we still have our same happy few. I'm glad you guys are all here. I hope you're doing well. We're managing to carve out a little bit of money in this weird day that you really shouldn't be trading. How far is that going to dip? 50 cent? Down to the 50 cent. I might. But get ready to get out quick in case it does a flush here, because it has been climbing straight up. And I'm just going to get in there. So I got in. I did mark it just so I'd get in, because the level 2 showed a bounce. So that was like 3 bounces in a row. And then, of course, it was waiting for me to get in so it could flush. Yeah, I might take a hit here and just get out. Let's see. I'm not going to add to my position. It's too close to it anyway, but it keeps punching down now instead of up. Each lower lows each time. There's a little swale that gives you faith. Get back up to the 75. The 75 seems to be making a resistance here, but it might break it like a real flat top there. It looked like it was about. It was really surging there for a second, and then it just pulled back. Somebody's like, looks like they're almost manipulating it here. I'm going to take a loss. I'm going to take a loss, guys. I don't like it. Yeah, I could have waited for the 50 cent. I just, I'm really tentative today about stuff, so about trading this. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. The definite entry would be the fib again for me if it hits it. I'm glad I got out. It's resting on the 9 there. You can see the volume was higher as it goes down, so this is not a time you'd want to go long, according to the data anyway. Looks like it's getting a retrace. Whoa. Is it going to keep going? Yeah, I think it is. So I'm going back in it. Got it at 62. Come on. You were showing such good signs. You're going to hurt me. I hit market because I just wanted to get in. And the spread's so tight. So this is it, right? It's like not going to let me make money today. It's going to be a weird price action day. I'm just going to get out. There goes my $50. Well, it really looked like it was going to retrace back up. So now I've lost complete confidence in which way it's going. So we're going to wait a minute. And I might switch stocks, but let's just see. So it went and it hit that channel, and then it hopped below that channel. So the fib didn't even stop it. And yet I wouldn't have played it short. So I think that's probably the best way I could have done it and kept a tiny bit green. I mean, and still get in the game, or just don't take the trade, which is what I advise. Don't take the trades today. And the only way to trade would be to scalp, but, I'm not sure you want to trade at all. So let me look at Tesla's up $5 since the open. Nvidia's like up $2 since the open. Apple is like right there at the open within a few cents. Hood is down within a few cents. AMD is up $2. Palantir is right, just like they said, it's like even money. Most of these are just even money. A little bit of action, but they're not sustaining a move. You can see that was a pretty big pullback. So I'm not going to go into a long. I would have to see it get closer to where it was, break that level, maybe even the 50 cent before I think about it. I kind of don't like the way that it did that. I need to wait for a while now to give this confidence for this style of scalping. Let me go ahead and look at my fail-safe over here. I moved over to Tesla if you're not watching and just listening. Somebody had pointed out to me that I'm listening to you, and if you don't say out loud that you switch, don't count. I can't always look at your screen, and that makes sense. So I will try to mention. I thought I had been, but I will try to mention that I'm changing stocks. So I am on Tesla now, and I ended up with like $3 out of all those trades that I just did a minute ago on Nvidia. And I'm actually feeling pretty good about that I'm not red. So let's see what Tesla's doing here. So I'll lower my share size to 50 shares. We are at the ATR high of the RV strategy. So, had I played that opening candle move for more than just the opening candle, I would be sitting pretty right now, but that's not what it was designed for. Yeah, let's see if this comes down and gets some support down here. So anyway, on the video store, this movie came out with Willem Dafoe called The Last Temptation of Christ. I didn't even know what the movie was about. That was the title, The Last Temptation of Christ. What the movie was about was like Christ just being a real person, not God's son, the religious, how was, I think anyway, it's been a while. I did watch the movie, but I think that's generally what it was about. And so at the time, we were ordering 50 copies of every movie. That's when movies were like $80 to $100 a piece. This is a while ago. And videos and everything. We'd get so many copies because you could rent every movie for $1 back then. And everybody else was charging $3 and $4. I had what you called a dollar card. You'd spend $100 for this card, and then every movie would be $1. But if you didn't bring it back right away, you might pay $3 late fees. Like you had to get it back in 24 hours, so the new releases would be. Anyway, it was all planned out. It was strategery, you know. So this guy calls me up from the local church, and the minister there, priest there, and he said, "Are you planning?" He knew my name and everything. It's just, "Are you planning to carry that movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I carry every movie unless it's, I don't carry many X-rated titles. We do have an area that you can do X-rated, but no, I for the most part that wasn't our business, And he's like, "Because I would prefer you don't carry that movie." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't just not carry it because you personally don't want it, to be carried." And I said, "Have you watched the movie?" And he said, "No, I don't need to watch the movie." And I said, "Well, that in itself tells me that I can't take what you're saying and apply any kind of action to it. I mean, you should watch the movie, get back to me, and tell me why you don't think we should carry it." He said, "No, I don't need to watch the movie. You should not carry that kind of material in your video store." And then he just got right into the threats. The conversation ended. So that fib turned it around there. I want a little bit more. I am watching, guys. And I was just like, well, I'm sorry, but if every time somebody called and, every time somebody doesn't like a movie and he's, "Well, I represent the congregation, blah, blah, you know who I am, blah, blah." And I said, "No, I do, but you're going outside of your, what I would respect you for right now." Wow. Look at that go, huh? I definitely missed that. I did not see that coming. So I would be, okay. Let me just switch to Tesla up here. I'm going away from watching it for a minute, guys, because I want to understand why that just happened. Nothing on the wires. It's just a typical, you can't trust Tesla to go short, so be careful. What was that? That was a $6 climb in less than a minute. $6, guys. So we're getting to the high of the 8. We broke that ATR. Man, I would have loved to. Of course, I would have got out for a profit right away. I wouldn't have rode it to the top. Look at that move. Somebody say something that hasn't hit the news yet? Jesus, look at it go. Hitting the high of the ATR right there. I'm not going to chase it. So I haven't taken a trade on Tesla yet because it seemed like it was going to give us some consolidation, and then it just blew through everything. And that could go down just as fast. That's the problem, right? Again, it's like we shouldn't even be trading today. But, I mean, if anything, NIO here is telling you it's going to be real competition against Tesla. If anything, that's bad news. There must be some report that came out or a target range that was set. Well, it's going to break the ATR high. Went up another $2 since the rise here. So I'm glad I didn't short it. I'm going to really look at this flow to see if it's starting to slow down, if I can do a long bias on a dip. 47, 34, 30, 20, 23. Wow, that was $1 rise on that level 2 in a split second there. That was like some crazy stuff happening there. I'd have to go and mark it. It won't even pick me up, and then it could flush like really fast. Still thinking about it, guys. I don't know. I'd love it to just stop and then start trading it. That would be a wiser play. dip down. Is it going to dip at all? It's not dipping at all. It's just for some reason deciding that it's going to go way up. I would love to know why this is happening before I trade it, but it's wearing me out to get into it. Is it going to break the 34? Yeah, it looks like it. I'm going to go ahead and get in. And I got it at 81 and it dropped to 30. See, this is the problem. It dropped down to the even dollar in a split second. So it's only $50 per dollar, but no. Why did it turn around? Well, the reason the indicators didn't pick up that it turned around, that's because I took a trade. The professor's going in. That's at resistance. Doesn't it feel like that when you take trades sometimes? And I even went in market with a big spread. It's like that was a FOMO trade, but I'm still believing that it's going to be okay. So let's see, not done going up yet. That is unfortunately a reversal pattern. Buyers have dropped off the volume. So is it really done here? People that were going long are like, please don't take a trade. You're going to turn it around. Don't do it. I would sell out more than add to, honestly, guys. It could be the beginning of this big retracement here. So how bad do I let this get? Pretty much not much worse. Yeah, I'm just going to get out. So that was a $52 loss. Because I chased a stock with no reason that it ever went up in the first place. And I didn't hold it long enough for it to recover, if it's going to recover, because of this fear that it's just going to break down. And here it goes. No data to take that trade. Just a FOMO trade. Ride it high, go. Then you say, well, why didn't you just get in here? Then it would have been smart. Well, because we didn't know that was going to happen. Come on. Nothing told us that was going to happen. Then, of course, the people that made a really good trade, well, I knew. I don't know why you just didn't trade it like me. Now, had I held, I'm back, almost back. 81 would have been even money. So it is getting support down here, which is interesting. There's hit my position for even money. I'll buy the dip back down at the 50 cents if it gets down there again. It's not going to get down there again. I'm going to wait this time, though, because I want to dip. It's just going back up now. There it goes. So it would have been a profitable trade just 1 minute later. Or it could have gone, so. Yeah, guys, I didn't have a way to call that, or I would have called it. Look at the target here on the risk oscillator. 4 times as much long rather than short. This pattern is going to excite people to go in long again here. So let me, that would have been a dip to get there. Nope. Not going to do it. You're not going to get me twice. I need it to be lower to do it. $68. There it goes. What did that get me at? 56. At least that's a bit better, to try to make this move. Please hold it at the ATR. It broke the ATR. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. So I will hold this longer this time. Let's see, the fib is at 79. And there's another fib at 37. Target up is way higher than the target down, 50 cents down. So I'm right at position there. I was just looking. Let's see if we can get green on this trade. Almost. There. Now I have $3 on 2 stocks. And of course it keeps going. I kind of expected a rejection. That's why I got out. So you can't expect anything. So I'm going to wait a minute, see if we can catch a dip of some sort. We're already at 10 o'clock, yeah. So it's been really, really hard to trade this 10:08 already. So anyway, what happened with that story was when he started to threaten me, that doesn't go well with me. So I said, do your worst. I am not going to, and he couldn't believe it, that I wouldn't do what he wanted, And apparently he'd already told everybody that he'll make sure that movie doesn't get put out. A movie that he's never seen, that he's judging with never watching it. That's what really got me, right? So he arranged this picketing. He picketed my video store, the one that I had in that area, and he picketed it. And it was just like, seriously, Oh my God, did the business boom. They did an article about the censorship and that this video store owner would not, kowtow to the church and, and I'm not an anti-religious guy, but it was just like, you can't do that. You have to have if it's a good cause, you're going to get me behind you, but that was ridiculous. And it wasn't about the money. It was about being told that you can't do this or else, right away, or else was in the first phone call, when I thought we were having an open conversation, and it was like, or else we will destroy you. Oh my God, my business like tripled because of that. So thank you. Yeah, because everybody, was on my side too. Like you can't tell a business owner that they can't do things just because you don't like it. Whatever that might be, and certainly whatever you're defending should be strong enough, for people to make their own decision about the content of, it shouldn't destroy their faith, it's just a point of view. So it's just, I'm going to let it go there, guys, but I was way more articulate at the time. I was interviewed and everything about it all. It was a big deal. It's like 40 years ago. That's how old I am. I don't know, you can look up when that movie was released, but it was a long time ago. And because of that, the 50 copies weren't enough. It's just like we had to order 100 copies of that movie. So that didn't work well. The picketing lasted about a week, and every day we got more and more people to buy in our support, not to hit the picket line. I went out and talked to the people that were picketing, and to say I respected their choice, their free choice to do this. I respect that you're exercising your rights, to do this. And I don't, I'm not going to ask you to leave. It's totally legal to do what you're doing, and I support you. And I made a big point of saying that, like, I'm not going to be like what you're trying to do. I'm not going to be that person, And I can't let it go. As it turns out, not a single person that was in the picket line day after day had ever watched the movie. That was the first question asked. Not a single person. Doesn't it make you want to watch the movie? I mean, when the newspapers started printing that, everybody wanted to watch the movie. It's like, well, what the heck's up with this movie? It's really not a very good movie. I mean, it's okay. I like Willem Dafoe, but it got a lot more traction because of people fighting against it. Very narrow points of view about their faith not being able to handle stuff like that. It's like, come on, man. Okay, we did create kind of a channel here, kind of a support and resistance here. Let's see if it's going to break. So it stopped at the, no, that's not the ATR high. That's the high. Here's the ATR high. So it stopped right in this area. Yeah, with 335. tweezer move down here. Again, I would not think these are too strong of a support, but you might get me to go long down here looking at the price action. But I'm worried about going short, yeah, and that's why. I'd rather be long biased on this move still, so let's see if we can get like some kind of money today, but just not being red would be good. Till after the news. After the news. We need to wait till later day trading here. Oh, okay. So finally a story came out. Sell more Cybertrucks. Oh, so there's news about Powell up here. Okay, so he's already got news out here. That's right, because it's later out there, of course. What a bunch of rigmarole. He's not saying. I kind of would read that positively, but yeah, so the market's reading what he said as a positive. So everything's going up. Wow. Okay. So that's what's happening. So he's reasoning that. He's got a, yeah, Nvidia's taken off too. All right, so I'm going to buy the dip here, and this has news on the Cybertruck. So I think this is going to keep going up. So let's get in this. This is the one I'm watching, so I'm going to go ahead and so that news just came out. That was 10:05, 10:06. Yeah, okay, so that's what's happening. I don't have anything on except just the wire here. Tried to get in at the even dollar there. See if it picks me up. Here I am. There it goes. All right, so let's ride this a little longer to try to do a move here. Hopefully it hasn't already, because we're getting near its higher, so high, so it is a little risky chasing this. But on the general overall news, I think we're going to get a move here. So I'm going to hold this longer than a normal two-digit scalp and hope I don't regret it. So I'm 71 cents up. See, this is great about the risk oscillator. So there's where it's saying I should stop at 82. I'll go ahead and try to do that at, yeah, so I got it at 69 cents up. And then look for a dip. Oh, no, I got out too soon for sure. Well, I was just trying to bank it, get back in at the even 37 there. So now I'm in at the 37. Whole another dollar from the last place I held. So I almost made as much as I could have made on that and got right back in it again. Makes me want to increase the share size, honestly, guys. It's I'm going to try to just bank that. Okay. Let me see if I can get a dip down here. Yeah, there's a dip. It picked me up. So now it got me below the 37. I might hold this, guys, into the dip and then look for a turnaround to add share size. 61, that's 30 cents down. It's to 46 cents, it's saying. You got to expect a little bit of retracement as they go up. It's not a panic thing yet. So we are trading on a catalyst right now, and people seem to have taken his statements as good news. Mostly just that he said something, and we don't have to wonder what's about to be said. That could be a lot of why the market's reacting sort of positively here. Watching the level 2 closely to see if I should add. Almost got me there. We're near the high. That's why it was a risky to get in here. Now I'm red. Is that fib going to give it support? I want to see it back to the 36. Five minutes still green. 15 minutes still green. We're short money still right now for a loss. It's just that we were green, so it's a little painful. Oh boy. Is it going to break the 35 too? Man, it did. So this one trade's almost $100 down, $2 down. There it goes. I don't know how much longer I want to hang on to this. This is why you don't trade today. Are things cooling off based on the news? Or is this about to flip around again? Break the 35, maybe 35 and a quarter, and I will, yeah, there it goes. I'm going to go ahead and add to that position as it goes up in hopes that that was it, and it's going to make a big move here because it looked like it was moving up there, and that's why I went ahead and went into 100 shares. But I have to be careful here because it could just flush. So I'm into half my position size now as it turned around. I don't like that the risk oscillator is turning it around there, but let's see if we can break that fib. So I'm at $36 now instead of $37. So I dropped $1 on that move as far as my price point. But I have a much larger risk if it keeps fading. So yeah, so that's the problem. Yeah, I'm not going to go down more than $100 for the day. That's it. I'm going to get out. Okay, so that was a time where adding didn't help. It hurt. So there you go. I'm going to have to work my way back up if I can later this afternoon. I don't know if you guys did any better. It was a risky way to trade for sure. I pronounced my logic. And yeah, and I was very worried about this, and it went ahead and did it on me. So this had a tweezer move when it went up. I mean, why is this suddenly going down again? You know, the logic might have been you need to hold that into a $5 retracement or don't get in, you know, rather than a $2 shake you out. That's equivalent to $2 starting at my 50 share size, you know. So when I add it up, you have to look at it like I kind of thought, like I don't want to go more than a $2. And the magnet just pulled up with price action up here, so there is some sign this is going to turn around, but not strong enough yet. Look at the pro indicator. Like, wow. Okay, so I don't know if I really want to trade anymore. I want to wait and assess the data. So everything turned around at the same time. It's like they got what they thought was good news, and now probably a bunch of pundits are saying it's not really good news, and then people are reacting all emotionally again. Or there was no news, so why is the market going up? It's just so emotional depending on who says what at any given moment. That's why scalping is good. You know, you just want to be able to get your max loss and get in and out. And so right now, it's any kind of a range right now. So we need to wait. It's the prudent thing to do would be to wait. I'm reading some news over here about TikTok. Came out about Amazon. Trump said something about TikTok. Not quite sure why it came up on an Amazon feed, but well, right now, it's not bad. I think I'm down $99, total today. So, that can be, I can recover that in like 3 minutes, 2 minutes trading just this way. But I need something to latch onto here, which we do not have. We do not have a consolidating pattern. Let me see. What about Hood? Is Hood's a couple bucks up? Everybody started retracing at the same time. Almost like something came out. And I'm not watching the news at the same time. But let me see what this looks like to trade here. If we have channels here, no. See, it has to stop, right, and start to retrace, and then show us some consolidation that we can work with. When it's unless you're willing to make that big of a channel move, like if this is the bottom, and this is the top 110, and then the bottom's down here at 107.50, 250 channel. Is it going to start to do that through time? We have to kind of watch. It's just when you make that big of a channel hop after it's been, God, it's actually almost the same size up as it went down, huh? It started to go up here at 107. Went up $3.33. Hit a bottom here. Just looking at Hood for a minute here. Yeah, so Hood I can go 200 shares with the PDT logic of how many you could fit. That's 1/4 size. I can go up to 800 shares as a stock and follow the day trading plan I have. I am really just looking for a trade. Just to go green is kind of not a smart move. I'm trying to force something here. This isn't anything. Let's see if it rejects off that fib and starts to make a tighter channel. That would be safer. Or if it's just going to keep going. Yeah. Was that our pullback and everybody's all excited again? Let me look at how the other ones are moving. Yeah, Nvidia's going up. Swaling up like 8 to 10 cents per, less than 10 seconds. Here we go. Now this could be making a big, huge bear flag, so we got to be careful here. This is a sign of this. No, this is the bear flag. This could be making a bull flag. So let's see what happens here. Is this a pullback, or is this like a real pullback? Or is this just a dip? We'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. 200 shares. Is it going to hurt me? Oh, come on. Definitely forced to trade there, and I'm paying for it. I held it down to here. That's a big flush. Yeah, it's almost $200. Okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. I would add, if it breaks up, if it shows me enough breaking up here, I will add. And it is not. It is killing me. Oh my God, guys, come on. Now I've got to dig out of a bigger hole. Wasn't a good spot to take a trade. Maybe it will stop there and turn around. I got it off this dip here, thinking that that was going to be a push back up. Okay, we went to 400 based on the way it was moving, so big risk, big risk. Turn around. We're showing signs of a recovery. Now it's not. So now we're getting hurt. 400 shares. Rolling the wheel. Not going to go to 800 shares. Waiting for a recovery. It keeps flowing up, so it's highly likely it will recover here. Hit 80 cents for the first time, 82 on the ask. It's something's pounding it there. Come on. Next green candle will shoot it up, I think. We got 45 seconds of pain before that happens, so 85. There we go. There we go. I'll take that. $38. Yeah, I didn't want to wait for more of a move up, guys. Because I didn't know if it was going to do it for sure, so buying a dip down here would be good now. There, is it going to keep going up? So it broke because we were right at the even dollar there when I got out, which could have been resistance, but it wasn't. So just wanted to take some money. I can't remember how negative I am. What was NVIDIA? No, it wasn't NVIDIA. It was Tesla. Yeah, so I'm still 68 bucks down or something. It's not how I would normally get back green again. Would not be trading hood, but we'll look at it again for something. Again, I shouldn't even be trading. I keep saying that. Like, what are you doing? I know they're not doing the RV strategy today, so I'm not doing the RV strategy. That means so I can stay with you guys a little longer here. Hopefully most of you just held off. So shorting off the let's make sure we don't have any more news here. Yeah, this is just all massive option news. Options reporting here. Options Friday. Yeah, looking to short up here, guys. Let's see if it gives us enough. So anywhere close to the 109, I would probably get a short on. Stopping at the 50 cents. It hit all the way to 110 up here. Yeah, okay, so I got to be careful. I was looking at very short term. Tweezer moved down here at 108.50. It just did it again. Pulled down. I already could have made a trade there, you know. Short trade. Oh, Magnet's going to pull up. This is going to push it up like a springboard here. So this is going to go higher. So we'll look for there it goes now. Look for the 109 maybe. Boom. There it goes. A little bump. Gave it a little support right below it. The magnet. Get that indicator if you don't have it. Market magnet is kind of right most of the time for at least short-term moves. That was like a 10 cents you could have got immediately there. Oh, I was just thinking I'm not getting enough drawback to get in on a short, but it just gave it to me there. It's giving me enough to get in and out quickly on short moves if I go to play it short and then just get out fast on the short move down. Buy-sell oscillator and the magnet are both there to help turn that around. You've got all your moving averages right below it as well. It's just stalled at the 50-cent level. It's kind of making its own little breakout at the 50-cent level here. It keeps pounding. I would short up near this fib. 109 would be better, but now the buy-sell oscillator says go down. The risk oscillator says go up. We have conflicting reports. There it comes up to the hit the 80 cents. Yeah, it's at 80 cents, 82 cents it hit. Let's see if we can get it to 109 or just off the 109. Break the fib and get me right up here. You've got the ATR up there as your fail safe, which is 109.30. Wow, 109.34. See, it faded off the top of that fib pretty fast. Already a trade there. Could have happened. You have to keep in mind that whatever you get, you plan, if you're shorting it, plan on it going all the way to 110.50. That's the size of that move against you. That's where it was. 110.41 was the high. Or 110.41, not 110.41. But really hitting that fib, huh? So people are looking at it like that's the level. There it was. I'm going to try it. All right, so it picked me up. I already could have got it. Tried to get it on a swale there. It's moving fast. It's moving against me. It should have picked me up. There we go. That was a I'm glad it picked me up because there it goes. It's like, no. So 109.34 is the ATR RV level. Yeah, so it's almost better to go long off these levels, huh? It's the long bias. It seems like it wants to retrace up. Let me see if I can get a dip down here below 109 of any sort of move here. Maybe could have got it, but boy. It's buyers all the way here, guys. Buyers strong for sure. Looking for a little bit bigger of a dip though. We're swaling between 7 and 12 cents. The spread's 3-4 cents. Oh, missed it. It's not coming back down to the 19 anymore. 109, I mean. It may bang off that ATR and just flush. That is the ATR RV level, which is usually highly respected. So watch out. Hit it, came way down. Okay, I tried to grab it at the 06. Thinking it's not going to be a big flush. Won't pick me up. See, it was right there. I'm canceling that order because I'm losing track of the level 2. So it definitely hit it hard and did a rickshaw man here. Remember, candlestick pattern playbook, guys. That's the only one that rates the accuracy of these patterns. I have a link to that book. I highly recommend you learning this patterns. Yeah, so it's flushing off that ATR, which is what you should expect, you know. Now, maybe we'll get a channel here. Wouldn't it be nice if it gave us a channel off this fib in the ATR? That would be wonderful. But that could be the end of its flush there. Let's see. I really want this candle to form before I go in, so because that's a reversal sign. So let's see what happens here, if it's going to really reverse. 3 seconds. That's going to close red. But it stayed green here on the. It's still not past the 5-minute mark here. That was an 8-cent spread. If I hit market there, that would have been terrible. We got to bide our time, guys. This is not. I'm not feeling confident about just going in here. It's very wishy-washy here. Get down to that other fib level. All right, I'm gonna go in, see if it picks me up at 95. That was already a 15-cent trade. $30. Didn't pick me up. It's so consolidating that it's giving us opportunities. There we go. I finally got in it. Just as it broke lower. 98 isn't exactly a fantastic position for this move. You gonna hold that level? I don't believe it. It's not gonna hold the fib, so. Broke the 9. I'm gonna wait a minute. This just shouldn't trade today. It's just not readable at price action. That's the 14. You don't want to add to anything that's this tight. It is resting on that 87 fib line. Still wants. Oh, it's starting to make a 5-minute bull flag, but it's not. Yeah, that kind of ruined it with the flag, but. Buy sell oscillator just flipped it like no. There we go. Almost got back what I lost. Let's see if it rejects off that ATR again. That was at 34, 30, 32. It definitely did not reject. So remember, we got high, so about $1 off where it's right now. Hitting that 50 cent and then came back to the ATR. So it's moving 20 cents on the swale here. Look for a dip. If we can get a dip back down to the 109 or below, that would be where I would enter based on this price action. I would wait for there. There was 109.10. I might go in higher. 109.10 it keeps hitting and then going up 12 to 15 cents. There's 15, 13, 11. Oh boy, that was good. Did I get that? Oh, I tried to get it at 95. Come on. Oh, I really want that position. All right, I'm canceling so I can take a better. I would have got the money already. Oh, so bad. That's why you wonder about market, but it's such a big spread that that was only 3 cents there. But too bad, huh? I tried to get that. That would have been a good trade. Maybe some of you caught that. When it dropped below 109, I'm like, that's coming right back. I might hit market next time just to get in if it goes down there again. It's a big chance where your position might end up. It's swaling like 15 to 25 cents, so it's giving lots of opportunities for profit here. This is what you're going to get if you hit market. Remember, that's what you'll get. you can see why people respect the ATR so much, because it always stops, consolidates, and then decides if it's going to keep going up or break back down, or whatever way it was, if you were going up or down and when you hit the ATR. So it broke to 50 cents now. So now if we get a pullback down here, it'd be a really good trade to get in, because it looks like it's trying to get past its 110. Let me just look at everything. Yeah, everything's still going up. You can see the overall market here. And that's the market pulse. This one, every time increment on this stock is green. Broke volume on the Pro as it was going up. You can't get anything else. You can't get much stronger than what this is saying. I like the fact that the target's so tight here for playing retracements. It's within 3 cents of each other. So, but I want to pull back. I'm not going to chase it without a bigger pullback. This is where the patience comes in that I don't exhibit all the time. The fact that this stuff's even become tradable is, I would call this tradable for sure. This is fairly predictable. So let's hope it stays that way. That's right at the ATR, guys. Bam. Thought about it. Would have been a 20, 30 cent trade right there. It's going to hit it again. I might just go and mark it at the ATR if it hits it again. That's a great level to have to trade off of. Oh, that was its last touch to that for a while, I bet. Breaking into these channels, and let me just get some of this. So this was a tweezer move right here on the 5 minute. Right there, that's where it's staying. So you got a hangman right here, which is a reversal sign on the 1 minute. But you, for the most part, made a bull flag on the 5 minute, other than that little hiccup in the middle, which are 82% accurate for the length of the pole. So if everybody thinks of this as a bull flag, then you have almost a $6 move from the base of the flag. So 108 up to 114. I don't think so. Suffice it to say that it's moving up anyway. Wow. So we're getting little retracements, but not much. Man, it's just going up. The whole market is just there. It broke to 110. Maybe some of you are riding this. Didn't make it to the top of the volume. It is just nothing but net, so to speak. It's just straight up. Yeah, NVIDIA now is 177 and climbing. AMD 168 and climbing. Tried to pick it up at 180, well, 109.80. Didn't get me. Can you give me a bigger retracement of any kind of thing? 110 is now support. All right, I'm going to try to get in there at, not try to get, I'm going to get in there and see how bad my position was, which wasn't that bad. I'm green for the day at least. This one's okay to ride right now until it might just flush though, guys. Just be careful. Just get out quick, if it starts to move more than 50 cents. You're getting 18 to 20 cent moves. So if something goes 50 cents, then if it suddenly goes 50 cents, watch out. That would be my advice. So here's our next fib up at the 41, which is also its high Doesn't have a high sticker there, but that's where it was. This is the high right here. So that's at 110.33. That's what this is signifying, the high. Market magnet picks that up. Give me a flush below 110. Give me some kind of a retracement, and then I'll go long. Just not. We're just chasing this thing. There's a new high. Man. 41 going to turn it around. I mean, it's getting near its highs, you know, that it doesn't, it's been for a long time, so it's a little risky. All right, let's take a look at this for a second, guys. I got to get a better look at this. So is this 30 days back? Let's go like 90 days back. Yeah. So we are at its highs. So this is it. We are at its high. We are in the stratosphere here. So it's making new levels. Kathy Wood has just dumped 1.6 million into Robinhood stock. That's probably the news. I thought it said it dumped the stock. No, dumps in. Okay, wait. Kathy Wood dumps 1.6 million in Robinhood stock. Yeah, okay. It's a weird way to say that. Like, I'm looking for a dip here. Come on, we're right at the high, so going long is a little risky. I'm going to go ahead and go in there. I got it at 110, 110.10. Just made a little progress there. Just keeping it tight. Boy. Is that the pullback? That was it, down to 110. I got it right at its low there, 110.10. Oh, it just I'll keep looking for the retracement. And it's 200 shares, so it can, if it flushes $1, you know, ouch. Ouch. Well, I've gotten more fun out of this day than I thought I would. Boy, everything is green. So obviously the market is replying to the, and maybe I can get out of my darn swing trade on AMD. It's got a little ways to go, but it might take a few days. Well, I've got to hold it over today's Friday, so who knows what may befall us over the weekend. Hope you guys are doing good. It seems like we have the same general number here. I don't know what the rollout is, but I am staying on longer than I usually do. So hopefully you're gaining advantage and not disadvantage from that. On a day I said I wouldn't trade, but I am getting ready to break. And even though we're not doing the RV strategies, this is when that would be ending, and I would be doing my second workout. I want to say like The Hobbit, my second workout seats, my third lunchies. Here we go. We're getting a bit of a retracement here off the most recent high. Not much of a retracement. It hit the fib. Should have grabbed it at the fib, huh? It is just going up. It is not. It's doing these little retracements. So that range on that candle was 30 cents. This one was 35 cents. And then that range going up was 51. And you can see we have a 7-cent difference in the target. And this fib is suddenly, wherever these are, guys, it's always some sort of action that you trade around, wherever these fib levels are. Those in the even and half dollars. There's our high, 63. It looks like it's about to break it again. Can we get a dip? Nope. It's going to make a new high. Here it goes. Boom, 66. Definitely chasing something here. Only way to get in this is market. If you want to try to chase it, looking for a dip. Back down to the 50 cent now is where I'm looking. Back down to the 50 cent now. It's not going to give it to me. It's just like a rocket. It's just going straight up. Maybe I'll look into the low 60 cents. 60 cents? We got a 4-cent spread, 5-cent spread. Stalling at 70. I'll take that. What did I get? That's at 71. That was terrible. I mean, as far as where I wanted to get it, it was terrible. And it's already punishing me. It's like, why didn't you wait? All right. So I'm going to hold this for a bit. We've got a cushion. Let's try to make a bigger trade out of this. All right, so I'm going to take that because I'm going to look for a dip off the even dollar of 111, and perhaps I shouldn't have, but it's just, this is out of control, huh? It's making new heights here. Is that all on the Cathy Wood? I mean, 1.6 million isn't really that much. I mean, geez, I guess. New high. Can we get a pullback to the even dollar, 111 by chance? Nope. Kind of wish I would have stayed in it, obviously. But the cushion is higher to ride the move up. I'm going to take it at the 36 cents. I didn't think that was our pullback candle, but perhaps it is. Sooner or later, they're going to say, we're done with this business. So if it breaks 111, I'm going to get out for a loss. And it's almost there. Recovery coming this way. To 37. No, it's not worth adding. It's not worth adding to. I just was thinking about it as it swales up to add, but yeah, okay. That's too bad. We were almost to 200 and it hit me. Yeah, I set a loss and now it turns around because that's how we roll. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it a day. I mean, for a break anyway, and then come back and see if we've got some real consolidation on. I might look at Tesla first to try to make some bigger money than this. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing good on this Friday. Have a good weekend. I'll probably put out some different videos to look for, and then I'll do a replay / recap of what's been going on today, just to let you know what happened for the rest of the day. All right, so thanks for watching. And keep it green out there, guys. Go green, and I'll see you soon.